Hi, and welcome back to 50 Shades of Blonde. I'm Missy Day.
And Jill Branson.
And with us today we have Andrew Hatherley. So welcome to the show. But first we have to pay our bills because our sponsors are what keeps us on the air. So we want to thank today Postmax in Henderson. They're on Horizon Ridge 1550 West Horizon Ridge Parkway. They are amazing. They'll do anything that you need as far as printing, any kind of event that you're having that you need step and repeats or you need posters. So go check out them, Brad and Tony Wise at Postmax in Henderson.
All right.
Pay the bills.
Pay the bills.
Gotta pay the bills.
So welcome, and we're really excited that you're here because I've been touched by divorce, and I wish I did have all this information. As we know, this is Andrew Hatherley, and you are the founder of Wiser Divorce Solutions.
Right. Wiser Divorce Solutions is a firm I created. I'm a certified divorce financial analyst, which is essentially the only person in the divorce world who can work with a couple to help structure a creative settlement. I'm not an attorney, but you don't always need an attorney in divorce. Now, sometimes you do, and sometimes it's necessary, and sometimes it's always a good idea for an attorney to review the documents at the end. But I can work with a couple who are relatively civil to one another, and they want to avoid the expenses of the litigious process and help them craft a settlement that'll be a workable situation for both of them. Now, I can also work as an advocate as part of a team. So it's nice when couples want to sit down at the same table, but I can also work as an advocate for one party and work with their attorney as part of their team to put together the financial exhibits that would bolster their case in divorce.
Well, and also I know that you have something called Second Saturdays.
Right, the Second Saturday Las Vegas Divorce Workshop.
Awesome.
It's quite a mouthful, but you can get more information, secondsaturdaylasvegas.com. And Second Saturday was created by the Women's Institute for Financial Education in San Diego back in 1989. And essentially what it is, it's a workshop for largely targeted towards women, but men can attend because it was set up by the Women's Institute for Financial Education. But it's 2.5 hours, and it's held at the Sahara West Library, second Saturday of the month from 10:30 to 1 o'clock. And it's a lawyer speaking about the legal aspects of divorce, a certified divorce financial analyst, myself, speaking about the financial aspects of divorce, a therapist dealing with the family issues and the emotional issues of divorce, and a mediator talking about alternative dispute resolution techniques, trying to keep things out of court, because we're all interested in keeping things out of court if possible, because the costs of divorce are really, really high. But Second Saturday, as I said, was founded in 1989 in San Diego, and there are now 128 Second Saturdays in cities across the country. And last year, around fall last year, just before November last year, I noticed that there wasn't a Second Saturday in Las Vegas. I thought, well, I've been touched by divorce, and I kind of have a mission to educate people to avoid some of the mistakes that I make and some of the mistakes I see lots of people making, because what happens is in divorce the emotions take over and logic goes out the window quite often, and it can be a huge financial decision people are making, quite often the largest financial transaction of their life, and it really needs to be done with a calm and level head. So what Second Saturday does is it tries to educate people on divorce so they can make educated decisions and not have that deer in the headlights look that so many people had, that I had. And quite often that ends up, you end up spending lots of money when you don't need to.
And this obviously is not just people that have been divorced or going through it. They're people who are considering it,
right,
and want.
I've had people in the latter stages of divorce, and people who aren't even getting divorced, but they've brought a friend, or they've heard things and they said, this is very enlightening. So it's good for somebody who's kind of thinking, this may happen to me down the road, because let's face it, divorce happens to 50% of marriages.
Exactly.
So anybody who's has a level head and can face the unpleasant facts of the world should get educated on divorce. Not to say that I'm encouraging it at all. I'm not, but it's better to be educated about it. And so most of the people who attend the workshop, they're getting that inkling. They're about to file for divorce, or they're already in the process at some stage.
Well, I wish you had been around. Gosh, let's see, that's 30. Never mind. Years ago, when I could have used it, because I had no clue. I was just saying, okay, this is what we're going to do, and plus I had a lot of other dramatic things that were going on, and it was a very nasty divorce.
Well, even the little things become dramatic in divorce. Things get blown out of proportion. Like some plates that you bought at a yard sale 20 years ago become an excuse for major conflict, and that happened to me too. I was just taken along with the tidal wave, so to speak, of the divorce, and ultimately ended up going to a relatively high-priced attorney who made me feel good for a few minutes, but then you're writing pretty large retainer checks, and it can be an extraordinarily expensive process. There's a saying in the legal world that the criminal justice system sees bad people in their best behavior. I mean, how often have we seen really scary-looking guys come into court with a suit and tie and look all neat and dapper?
Exactly.
But the divorce world quite often sees good people in their worst behavior because they're not used to the court process. They're not used to this sort of litigious process. And what Wiser Divorce Solutions, my firm, and through the educational workshop Second Saturday is trying to do, is to give people the education so that, if possible, they can avoid a very expensive litigious process and get things settled as reasonably as possible.
And I just love that, because so many people out there, they stay in a marriage that they should not be in any longer, and it's fear over just the things that you're going to teach them. Right,
and this is part of the education on the financials, is that Nevada is a community property state, so if you've been married for 30 years and your husband's been contributing to a retirement plan for 30 years, well, half of that's yours. Now it goes the other way around. If you've got the huge retirement plan, half of that's his, and the accounts, it's split, and the debts split as well. One thing that quite often is overlooked or ignored are pension plans, and quite often they aren't valued properly. If one party has been contributing to a pension for the marriage, well, what's been put into that pension over the course of the marriage is considered community property, and that needs to be valued properly, and quite often those pensions aren't valued properly. And it goes with retirement plans as well. And one of the most important things a spouse can do is collect documents, educate themselves not only about the process, but what are the assets, what's the exact titling of the house, what's the exact, and whose name is the mortgage. Gather 1040s. And maybe sometimes a husband will stick the 1040 in front of his wife at the time, just sign here, honey, and she never sees it again. Well, get copies of that, especially before you go into the divorce process, so that you're educated about what's going on.
Well, we sure thank you for coming on, because there's so many people out there, I'm sure, that definitely need this information, and I highly recommend that you go to this second Saturday, because there are many things out there that we think we know, but we don't. So I think it would be a great thing.
That's
what's
true.
the best way, for people to get a hold of you?
They can the best way is probably go to either my website or Wiser Divorce Solutions website, which is wiserdivorcesolutions.com. The Second Saturday Workshop website, which is secondsaturdaylasvegas.com, or you can call me at the office 702-835-6960.
Perfect. Well, thanks again.
You're more than
Thank
welcome.
you for
Thank you.
coming on.
Thank you very much for having me, ladies. I'm glad to have the opportunity.
Awesome. Well, that wraps it up for today. We had 2 hours of fun, and so we ask you to come back next month, December 20th, for 50 Shades of Blonde for our holiday show.
And you'll be seeing a lot of red.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.